Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I am your host, Michael Karvelis, and this is Daily Dive. It is Monday, January the 5th, 2026, and this show begins now. We are live streaming via the airwaves of North American Talk Radio on YouTube. We appreciate your subscription before you leave today's episode. We had college basketball this weekend where our very own Illinois Wesleyan took down Carroll and blasted Carroll, by the way. That was fun in women's basketball. I didn't check the men's score, I can't lie. But yeah, we have exclusive content coming next weekend. This Saturday, there will be an exclusive watch party. So we're hoping to have some guests on for that. It's $199 a month if you want to be in the members only to watch the watch party, but that should be fun. We're also doing a swear jar for charity, which already reached 50 cents on the free live version we did, which is unbelievable. But thanks for subscribing. On today's awesome show, we're going to talk to Pat Gregoire and get to our overreactions. I've got 5 questions queued up for the 5 games for week number 6. We'll also return a segment of Pat Gregoire's called Greggy's Grinder. Stay tuned for what that is and what the history of that is and who he names. And then, of course, after that, I will give people my 3 stars. Kind of the goal you wish. Brendan Murphy says, my first live, let's go. Well, thank you, Brendan. I think Brendan, I'm pretty sure that's the guy who plays in Montana. That's a Sled Dogs player from Montana. He does other things besides, but that's how I met him. So thank you, Brendan, for tuning in. And Kai the goalie said that because it's going towards the lacrosse out cancer at the end of the season. All right, cool. Now let's bring on the man, the myth, the one who didn't even have a game this weekend for some odd reason, Pat Gregoire.
How's it going, Mike? Yeah, no game this week. The World Juniors. I know you are not the biggest fan of that tournament, but of hockey in general. Yeah. Newsflash, hockey, very important in Canada, although surprised to wake up this morning and the country is not up in flames that our junior team ended up losing to the Czech. But this is a lacrosse show. That's enough hockey chatter for now. But TSN, obviously the big broadcaster of the World Juniors. It's one of their biggest products of the year. A lot of money, a lot of marketing, a lot of resources, to be quite honest, go into that. So why go head to head? You talk about it all the time with the time slots, the very odd decisions of time slots. I think going up against the World Juniors on your own network would probably be a pretty odd choice. But don't worry, it is over. Nature is healing. Myself, Teddy, Matt Cullen, Brad Challoner, Ashley Docking, Chantel Chan will all be on your screens for a TSN double header this week. I am fired up for it.
Too bad we have a week to react to first. By the way, Brendan Murphy has now changed the username to All That Murph, and he says Slush Puppies for life, yo. Are you under the weather again? Are your allergies back?
Allergies are back a little bit this morning. I know, a little stuffy here, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
He says, I don't want to go to the doctor. I want this thing dry up for a month. All right, so let's get to the games. I know you were boots on the ground. I use that lightly because Captain and Frick were there as well, which is really cool for both podcasts going here. But let's get to the first game on Friday. Let's pour one out real quick for Halifax. Man, that was, I don't know what Saskatchewan did in the last few games, but they officially have the number of the Thunderbirds if they didn't before this. And I think Cody Jansen just poured salt in the wound when he was like, the Bison are blitzing the Birds. What a line. Yeah. He told me that was off the cuff. I was like, oh my goodness, that was brutal. But my question for you is this. Did Saskatchewan prove they are a tier above Halifax? You can answer that and discuss the game, whatever you want to do there.
Did they prove they are a tier above Halifax. I don't know if they proved that they're a tier above, but they
Wow.
proved that they have their number. And it is quite funny how this rivalry has evolved over the years. I've said it multiple times now. It is one of my favorite rivalries in the NLL. I think it is one of the best rivalries in the National Lacrosse League. And when you look at the way that these things have this rivalry's gone, at one point, not too far long ago, it was the Halifax Thunderbirds who had Saskatchewan's number. I believe, looking back, it was 5 straight wins for Halifax, dating from December 4th, 2021, up until February 24th, 2024. And then it kind of went back and forth. And now it's actually Saskatchewan who has that 4-game winning streak, including the 2 big ones in the postseason. So they certainly have the last laugh right now. I think they are a team that matches up really well against Halifax because of their athleticism on defense, their aggressiveness. They are able to put Halifax, some of their, a little more aged or even just slower moving players. And if Halifax isn't spinning the ball around like we've seen them do before, they can put themselves into a little bit of issues. The other thing as well, speaking of that athleticism, Saskatchewan torched them in transition in both those games. Ball up the floor. Halifax not doing a good enough job to get off the floor. But the big one, the elephant in the room, is the penalties. A little bit, obviously, I shouldn't say a little bit. A lot of it is Halifax and their discipline. A big part of it, though, is that Saskatchewan can get under their skin.
That's my thing.
They know how to push those buttons. They know what to say. They know what to do to tick off those T-birds. So for me, I will not say that, because I think I think Halifax is still in that tier, that upper echelon. They might be on the bottom of that tier, and maybe Saskatchewan's higher up at the tier. But I will say this, that Derek Keenan, Coach Quinlan, they have the recipe on how to beat this Birds team, and they've mastered it completely.
We were doing our own little mini watch party with me and a few other people on Friday, and I was going absolutely insane. I love Tyson Bell. I know he knows how valuable he is. I could not believe how you score a goal and take a shot, like a cheap shot. I mean, just a shot in general, just a check to someone. I don't know how you do that after you're a defender, and that's a momentum swinging goal. I think even others were talking about how the slash on the leg to the other guy, which was on major review. I think Terafenko did that maybe, but it was those plays. What is that like? And I'm not gonna go on a tangent right now. You got to learn when to do it. And I've said with Saskatchewan, I almost compared them to Albany from 2 years ago, because Albany did the same thing in the playoffs against Halifax. It was they would toe the line, the 50% of what's good and what's legal and what's not legal. And if you know your opponent can't control it, then you're gonna push those buttons. And good for Saskatchewan. But at some point, the talent, they got to realize they're talented. Just appreciate who you are.
Well, I mean, it's a great point you mentioned that, because it's not like Saskatchewan are church mice themselves. They like to rough it up as well.
That's what I'm saying. They totaled 51%.
They had 12 penalty minutes, but you know what it was? What it was for them, it was the compounding ones. And when they take that penalty, Tyson Bell, you mentioned that, that is such a momentum swinger. So they're already killing a penalty at that point. Tyson Bell, Ryan Terafenko book it up the floor. They score a big goal, a shorthanded goal to boot.
That's what I'm saying. You're
down 2 goals now. And I get it. I understand Tyson Bell takes a penalty. He actually takes Holden Garland with him, which is fine. So it's okay. You're not more shorthanded than you were before, but you mentioned it. It's the momentum killer. Then you're like, oh, great. You take
one of our best defenders is in the box.
One of our best penalty killers is in the box.
Saying.
And it's just the vibes are feeling good. And then you take that penalty. And even though you're not less man down before, then Saskatchewan scores immediately.
And I think Saskatchewan will trade off Holden Garland for Tyson Bell. I'm sorry.
Well, I think Holden Garland is a tremendous defender. So I would put
fair.
that up. I would put that
You're
up
the
for
Greggy's
debate.
grinder guy, which we'll get to. That's a good point. But yeah, I can agree with that. With like I don't agree with you, but I like your assessment of Halifax is at the bottom, but they're still. I like that. I'm going to say Saskatchewan's above them, and that I don't know if it's just Buffalo with them. I don't know if Vancouver has entered that conversation yet. I know the preseason champions were the Vancouver Warriors, but I think Saskatchewan is a tier above because, and again, if it is the penalties, that's where you want to be, because if that's all you got to do is just get out of your own head, I feel like they can just enter the tier immediately. So It's not even like they're that far down. I just feel like if you're going to do that, you're not ready to hang until you clean up. And once you do, you're right there. You might beat them.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a great point. I guess maybe our tiers are also different. Your tier, like you said, maybe it's just two teams there and then it's a drop down. Whereas I kind of see the upper tier right now, my tier list, and we're getting off a tangent here. I do think it's, it's Buffalo. I think it's Saskatchewan. I think Halifax is in there. I'm not ready to put like Rochester in that group.
Not anymore.
We can get to that maybe in a little bit, but that's my tier list. Like Vancouver's in that tier list as well.
So it's 4. It is 4.
It's 4. It's
that's
those
why
4
I think it's either 3 or 4 for me. Like I don't know if I go from 2 to add Vancouver for 3. It is what it is. I don't
Listen, know. And here's the thing, and I know you and I off air talked about this, and this is kind of not necessarily going against your word, but I will use your word to help my argument. Yes, Halifax hasn't looked great the last couple of weeks, especially offensively. Look at the defense that they're going up against. Look at the goaltender that they're going up against. They have this year, they've faced a lot of really good defensive teams.
I agree.
They have gone up against some really good goaltenders. They opened the season up against Oshawa. They go into Buffalo and knock off them. And then they go back-to-back weekends against the Rush.
Traveling, by the way, which also matters.
That matters for sure. So you know what? They get Oshawa again this weekend. They get Ottawa as well. If they go 0-2, Mike, I'm with you. I'm dropping them down to that tier.
Right.
If they go 1-1, we'll wait and see. If they go 2-0, I think they're back to where they were before. But they have had a very difficult schedule to start things off. Even though they're 2-2, I think you'd be okay with it. I think in their heart of hearts, they desperately wanted to get that split against Saskatchewan. Because if they are, Mike, in this top tier, when it comes to seeding in playoffs, losing that tiebreaker to Saskatchewan could bite them in the butt.
Oh, yeah, because who do you play at that point?
Yep.
All right, Ryan Keenan, by the way, was one of my 3 stars this weekend. 4 goals, 2 primary assists, 1 block, 1 loose ball. Shout out to his father as well, who plays 300th game, or coaches 300th game I played. My God. All right, Ottawa Black Bears defeat the Oshawa Firewolves in a game you, Captain, and Frick Ratzer representing TSN/OTCB, Dilly Dive, and Loose Mash all had boots on the ground in that game. Gary Krug was there too, I believe. So that's
yes,
awesome.
He was. Yes, he was. There was a lot of media there, man.
Love that, by the way. Did the Firewolves, Ottawa did win 16-14. Did the Firewolves, though, show enough signs of life on offense to save their season? Before you get to that, Alex Simmons, sock trick, Dyson Williams, 4 goals, including a butte. But have the Firewolves offense proven that their season can be saved despite the 1-4 start now?
Listen, it showed a sign of life. I threw out a tweet at halftime basically saying that I still didn't see a whole ton of action on the middle of the floor. They still were very perimeter, but they looked more dangerous. They were swinging the ball east and west really well. Balls weren't dying in guys' sticks. There wasn't as much hero ball with some guys. The passing was crisp. The 2-man game was very strong. So yes, they were still shooting from the outside, but their shot selection was a lot better. They weren't shooting early in shots. They just looked a lot more confident. It's just unfortunate for them that the one night the offense comes alive, there's a couple of defensive breakdowns, and Jeff Teat in the fourth quarter decided once again, say, all right, we're going to win this lacrosse game. So will I say that this offense is good enough to make the playoffs and go on a run here? I don't know, but they've at least showed me a pulse that there is something there. I still think Glenn Clark should be hopping on his phone this morning and making some sort of change here, even though he put up a great number for his offense, even though there was that pulse shown. I just still think that there are too much of the same on that offense. They need something a little bit different, a guy that's going to work from the inside out, which they have some of those guys, like of course in Keeley. When Patrick Kaschuk gets up there, Taggart Clark, that's fine. But I think you need one of your top two guys on that offense, the guys that are going to score the ball. Just even think of just two names. These aren't names that I'm throwing out there that are who they'll go for, because I don't think they're actually on the market. But think of Dawson Theed. Think of Tanner Cook. Big body, skilled players still that aren't afraid to crash and bang, that aren't afraid to get to the middle of the floor, and that you can still rely those guys to do the dirty work, but they're also going to score. Where some of their guys that are doing the dirty work, that's pretty much all they're there for, is to do that dirty work.
So, but when Nathan Grennan is on out there again, I don't know how, but if like you said, if I'm Glenn Clark, he was good last time he was there in Albany. I mean, who was the two guys you just mentioned? Was it
Tanner Cook,
that's my thought.
Dawson Theed? But Dawson Theed's not going anywhere. Tanner Cook, maybe you can get him out of Calgary.
They're floating his name around for a few teams, and rightfully so. But if the Roughnecks keep playing around and being competitive, I don't know about that anymore.
I know he's a guy that you certainly would want to build your offense around for the future. So it would take a pretty penny to get him out of Cowtown.
I guess I don't think the Fire Wolves showed enough, because Black Bears had allowed these runs, and I wanted so badly to come on the show and be the person who picked the Fire Wolves to win. It wasn't happening. And all of a sudden their defense fell apart. It's like, oh, now the defense can't step it up when it needs to anymore. I did this last year, and I shouldn't be comparing the teams, but they're pretty similar core, like almost everybody's the same. And that was one of the reasons I like them. But it's like, we did this thing last year. If you can't get the wins early, why do I expect you to get them late when it matters most? And I don't care how big of a run you go on late. It's too late now. If you're 1-4 in a competitive league where Calgary is no pushover, where Colorado is suddenly beating Rochester, it's like, why should I put trust in you? People were wondering, because I'm also on this mindset too, like Glenn Clark. I'm with Frickerson of the Loose Mash, and I've said this for years as well. Guys don't get fired in this league, especially during the season. I don't know how to answer that question, but I just feel like, yes, if it was any other league, I would say that, but I don't think now, no.
I don't think so either. And the thing is, and sometimes you do need a different voice in that locker room. You need a different messenger. Maybe it's, maybe you need a different GM to bring in a different philosophy. Right. But at the end of the day, if Glenn Clark gets fired from Oshawa, there's probably 8 other teams that are picking up the phone and making a move to bring him on their bench. He's Team Canada coach. He's probably a future Hall of Famer coach. What he's been able to do over his career is certainly remarkable, but sometimes you got to make that change. I agree with you and Frick that we don't it's got to get really, really bad in order for a change to be had. I think if they miss the playoffs this year, I would be more inclined to see him relieve the duties of his assistant coaches. I think that would be what would happen before. And then if next year they come out and they don't, then that's where I think there would be a change. I just think the ownership group trusts Glenn Clark as a general manager, as a head coach, and that this would more I think he still has at least a year, maybe even a year and a half, if they're to miss the playoffs here. I really do. I think he would, what management or ownership would say is, you got to make a change. We need to make a change. We trust you, but your assistant coaching and your supporting staff, they're the guys that got to go, and we got to bring in different people to help out. That's what I honestly think. I really do.
Right. I guess I know we've kind of like said like, well, is the GM Glenn Clark as good? I would say like just for counter, if he were to step down in one role, why not step down as head coach, be the GM, focus solely on GM, and let someone else head coach? It's weird, but like I agree with what you said first. That would happen first, and then other things would start happening. What those are, I don't know.
Yeah,
You said Firewolves trade with the goalie. I'm like, good no. That would just be admitting everything was lost in this. I don't know. I leave it alone. I want to show this video that Captain got. The sound is a little bit off, but this should work here. It was this did good views on Twitter too about Jeff Teets from this Ottawa Black Bears fan who rode the bus that they were driving to Oshawa.
Hello, fans. I'm live here in Oshawa with an Ottawa fan, Troy.
Yep,
Troy, how did you get down to Oshawa today?
Got down here on the fan bus with some Black Bears fans that'll be seated just around us in the sections above us here. So hopefully Teeter and the boys can have a good go there. Been really enjoying the Rob Hellier acquisition. He's been really making this team. He was that one missing piece this team was needing to get over the hump in a big way offensively. And it's so far so good there.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Tell me, you're a season ticket holder in Ottawa.
Yeah, I'm a season seat holder. It's overall a solid experience for everything that we have there and such too, though. Albeit, though, we're definitely hoping to get some butts in seats though and everything though. I say come on out, come and enjoy. If you ask me honestly, who has got, out of all of our sports teams in Ottawa, who is the best athlete in any respective sport out there, it's Jeff Teet. That's the answer. Yes. He is absolutely sensational.
I thought that was beautiful by that guy.
Awesome.
I cannot believe. I messaged him directly. We did find his Instagram and all kind of stuff. Let me get his name real quick. But I told him it sounds like a hot take now, but it's like once people realize how good the Troy Gary is his name.
Troy Gary,
Geary. I love that stuff. I love hearing that.
Well, first and foremost, I'm Canadian. Even listening to those two guys talk, it was incredible. But you being from Georgia, you must be like, these are the two most prototypical Canadians.
Their accents. I was like, what in the world?
I know, it's so good. It's so awesome. But I love hearing that passion
of
a fan, a New York, you could hear, you could just hear the passion coming from him. And he is right. Jeff Teet is the best athlete in Ottawa right now.
Sports,
he is right. He is right that that they need to get more butts in the seat. He is right that it's a great product. He's totally right. Get this guy out there screaming from the mountaintops to get people out to Ottawa.
Troy to do it.
Exactly, because he's the perfect example. And to be quite honest, Mike, I was in the building, and when Ottawa scored, it was loud. There was a lot of Ottawa fans in that building. I wouldn't go as far to say
they took it over.
60. It wasn't a takeover. I would say maybe 75-25. But there was a lot of Ottawa
25 Ottawa.
25 Ottawa, I would say.
That's what Captain said it was for Toronto game.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I think there was just as many Ottawa fans as there were Toronto fans. And a lot of them were family and friends. I know Riley O'Connor's from Whitby. He had a bunch of family out there.
I know Owen Grant did the same thing for Vancouver and Oshawa. Yeah,
exactly. So there was a lot of family and friends there too. But
cool.
I did see the people rolling off the bus, and I saw just casual, fans that weren't in family sections that were there. So kudos to Ottawa. I think that is awesome. I would love to see Oshawa do the same thing whenever they play up in the nation's capital. Again, we're talking about this tri cup, or whatever we want to call it, between the three Ontario teams, the Trillium Cup, I guess we could call it. That is the official flower of Ontario. Fact of the day, I guess. I just thought of it now, but it is.
Did we finally get the name for this whole thing? The Trillium Cup? Okay.
The Trillium Cup. The Trillium is the official flower of the province of Ontario. So really cool to see. I will say this, Ottawa, I know it was a lot about Oshawa there.
I know.
Ottawa, that fourth quarter, man, their ability to dig deep and find a way to win is pretty impressive.
Back-to-back games, Pat. Back-to-back games where the wings got them, and then the Oshawa Firewolves got them, and they punched back. When you can punch back, when your defense, great stuff. Love that.
I will say this though, it is not a sustainable way to play all year long. You're not going to be able to do that against Buffalo. You're not going to be able to do it on the road when you're going up against a raucous crowd. You did it here, but like I said, you had a lot of support. It was a lot of homecoming for a lot of guys. Like going on the West Coast, it's going to be difficult to do it. I know you almost did it in Vegas, but you lost. So it is not a sustainable way to live. It's an entertaining way to live. And when you have Jeff Teat on your side, it sometimes seems like it's easy to do. But that's something that Dan McRae is certainly going to want to focus on, is finding that full 60 minutes. And I want to give a quick shout out to Zach Higgins because he was tremendous in the fourth quarter. Breakaway attempt after breakaway attempt. He stoned Alex Simmons twice in transition, like just beautiful, beautiful saves. And I still think Doug Jamieson played solid. He wasn't great. He wasn't bad though. But in that fourth quarter, Higgins was, I would say, just as important in the comeback as Jeff Teat was.
Love that. In that game, just for stats, and we'll move on. Higgins, 44 saves, 58 shots on goals, a lot. 38 of 4 versus 14 for Doug Jamieson, like you said. And then if he stoned him twice, then that means that a 2-goal game would have been the difference there. Good for Zach Higgins. He can beat Jesus when he needs to as well. Like, people forget that. Next up, the Buffalo Bandits won the first game of Tucker Outland Lymphoma Cup 2. My question, and a lot of guys had like 2 goals, hat tricks, and 4 goals for the Bandits, by the way. Chris Kluche had 4 goals for the Dogs. I want to give a shout out to him, who looked good. Who should be the Desert Dogs goalie moving forward? Landon Kells again, playing musical chairs out there. Bouquet came in, looked good at first, and then finally allowed the floodgates again. I know what I want to say, but you go ahead. You know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going with it, and I have a hard time not agreeing at this point because, like, I was very hard on Landon Kells. I said the sample size was there, and
agreed.
I was wrong for 2 games, but on the OTCB podcast with Teddy, I said he was going on like, I think Vegas can give them a good go, and they did give them a good go. But I said, well, for me, it's Landon Kells. Can he go into Banditland and put up? And you've talked about it all the time. I've talked about it all the time. Jake has talked about it all the time. You know which Landon Kells you're getting within the first 5 minutes of the game. We knew which Landon Kells we were getting within the first 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
I see.
When Buffalo jumped up 3-0. I know who Sean Williams is. I know the way that he actually already reacted by putting Kells back in. We're going to see Kells again. I would be shocked if we don't.
Sure.
Whether that's the right move or not is a different story. He has given him the vote of confidence for putting him back in after a bad game. He'll do it again. I'll tell you this, Alex Bouquet is not going to be the answer. So what is the answer? Do you go to Caleb Kahn? Everyone's been asking for it.
Everyone. Oh, no, I asked for game 1. Don't you everyone me. Don't you everyone me, pal. No, sir. Not on this show.
At this point, what is the use of not putting him in at this point? Because here's the thing, and PK from Buffalo Sports Collective actually brought up, yeah, they're doing awesome stuff. One thing he brought up is that it's going to be difficult to put Landon Kells back in if you do go to Con and he doesn't look great.
Absolutely.
But hey, it's the National League. You got to make tough decisions. And if you're a goaltender and you are that mentally fragile that an 18-year-old comes in and gets a start over you and you can't bounce back from that, I'm sorry. professional lacrosse might not be for you.
Or at least on the Desert Dogs, it won't.
Yeah. So I will still stand by it that the issue was not addressing the goaltending position in the offseason. And this beast was created by them not addressing it. And I'm not saying that they didn't try to go out to get goaltenders. I don't know if they did. I heard rumblings that they did. I also heard rumblings that they did not. But this is basically a product of not addressing that starting position. Now you've made that mess. You have to live with it, and you have to find a way to get yourself out of it. Or you're going to be trying to win a lot of games, 16, 17 goals for, and try to outscore your problems, because it wasn't the defense. I didn't think the defense played all that bad. I think the defense is vastly improved. It's just Landon Kells went back to being Landon Kells once again.
I've learned through my 4th year of really watching the NLL and really doing daily dive every day. I have learned you can't outscore your problems in this league. Because I know other sports you can have fun with that. I haven't seen Rochester, the Riptide / Black Bears, or the Dogs do it. I have never seen that work. It always comes back down to who you got in the pipes. If you make the playoffs, it's who's in the pipes for you. Can you name the team, at least in the last 4 years, that did that, made the playoffs, and actually look competitive? I can't.
I will say this, Mike. You might be able to make the playoffs, but you're not going anywhere after that.
Correct.
You're not going anywhere after that.
I'm not going to do the whole tangent thing, because I've done it already. I said before the season started, I don't even know how good Caleb Kahn is. But if he's an 18-year-old who made your roster, why not? Because my point was, I knew the script for this season, even if this was a get right season and then next year get better at it, and maybe they did go for a goalie, like you said, we don't know. I think I said the first 4 games we were going to know very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, they were competitive the last 2, but I mean, come on. Then they fell back right down to earth. And I know it was Buffalo, but this game was 14-7. So don't let that covering 2 fool you, because that should have covered 5 at one point. And that came out of nowhere. You got to turn the TV back on over here. But my thing was 4 games we were going to know. I knew they were going to flirt with Alex Bouquet, but and on the back side, like we heard about the confidence of Caleb Kahn, I'm like, if I'm Caleb Kahn, I'm like, I'm 18 years old. 18-year-olds are not like thinking that much about things like that, I feel like. And I don't know if I'm getting ruined by watching these guys play goalie chairs. So what was the point of me waiting?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. And now I don't know what the answer is, because that was too late.
That's what I mean. I don't know what the answer is. I assume they probably go back to Landon Kells. And even if Landon Kells plays great, he goes at home but they're going up against Saskatchewan, another really good team. Like, this gauntlet to start the year is absolutely crazy. The fact that they are 2-2 right now, I think, is actually a good thing.
They are competitive, which is good.
But again, it's the Achilles heel reared its ugly head once again. You've got Saskatchewan and Philly and Oshawa. Now you have 3 home games. Mike, I think if you're going to start Caleb Kahn at any point, it's got to be within the next 2 games. And if not, if we see him later in the season, it means that Vegas isn't making the playoffs and they're just looking to get him quality wins. Here's what I will say, though. The fact that we haven't seen him even dress as the backup leads me to believe that they don't actually believe he's ready right now. He might be the goalie of the future. That leads me to believe they don't think he's ready right now, and he's not going to give them a better chance than Landon Kells or Alexis Bouquet is going to give right now, which is obviously concerning, but he's 18 years old. He is from all indications, from what I've seen, from people I've talked to, he's going to be an absolute stud. Is he a stud right now? We don't know. We also haven't seen him.
Right. Landon Kells, 76.8 save percentage this year, which actually is his career high, but he now... And I'm not saying it's all Landon Kells, but like, I do think if you would have had a competent goalie in this game, you might have actually won somehow, which is weird. That's like an interesting thought to think about.
100% you would have, Mike, and that's incredibly deflating for this group, I imagine, as well. And again, I know, like I said, I've been very hard on Landon Kells, and I'm sorry, but 2 good games in a row doesn't mean you're a legitimate number one. You got to do it at a bigger stretch. If he can bounce back here against Saskatchewan and Philly and Oshawa and get on a roll, great. That's awesome. But there's always going to be in the back of my head, okay, when does the fall off happen?
Nice.
And goalies, goalies are allowed to have off nights too, Mike.
Sure.
But it can't always happen every 2-3 games. Like it can't.
The wheels fall off. Yeah, correct. Let's do a commercial break so we can both get some water here. And after that, we're doing Fraud Watch in Rochester. And is Aurelia starting role in jeopardy? And stay tuned for Greggy's Grinder and another segment that I'm proud to have announced. We'll be right back to Daily Dive. Pat, drink some water while you can, sir.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Welcome back to Daily Dive. I'm your host, Michael Karvelis. That is Pat Gregoire, who's staying cool and betting responsibly. You had a 2-1 week again? Or is it
1-2?
You're still leading us, though. But good for you, sir. Thank you. The Polar Bears are grateful. For this week, anyways.
Absolutely.
Nice. I do love the jerseys behind your head, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, and I was doing some little research, during this weekend here. I found out the following teams have a merchandise shop. I was looking at which ones were actually updated and stuff. You can find, and you have to search team name shop and then scroll past the Fanatics and then you'll find these things. The Saskatchewan Rush, the Buffalo Bandits, the San Diego Seals, the Dogs, Ottawa Black Bears, and you can buy a Jeff T jersey on that one, by the way, which is freaking awesome.
Okay.
Vancouver Warriors, Toronto Rock Royals Boston, and the Calgary Roughnecks have a lot of their black and reds. I love that. I'm good for those teams. It's not what we wanted, but they had some fun stuff, so they're good for those teams. All right. Did you get any Oshawa gear or not yet?
Well, there's an Albany jersey back here.
No, it doesn't count. Nope, you're giving that away. No, sir.
To be honest, Mike, I'll try this week to add something to the back. But those lines at the arena, holy smokes, man!
Really?
People have been lining up before the game, during the game. It is absolutely crazy. The people in Oshawa are absolutely loving the gear, and that's the great thing about it. Being in the stands, kind of having a different perspective. Like a lot of people are already wearing jerseys and hats and hoodies and stuff. So it's becoming a really, really cool little atmosphere they've got in that building.
Maybe I forgot to look up the Thunderbirds, but maybe I looked it up and just couldn't find it. I don't know. I didn't remember they had one though.
They do have a shop. I believe that I don't know if you can directly order from it if you're outside of the province. That's the only.
That's okay. So that's interesting because I know other ones they were letting you do that, but that's an interesting. Well, good for Canada if they have it though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we don't need it down here. I'm kidding. Right. So let's get to Rochester. I'm checking the time here. Is it Fraud Watch in Rochester? Because this is. I know Colorado's offense good for them, but come on, man. Y'all were on cloud 9, and suddenly Hartley came back. I mean, this is bad.
Yeah, this is definitely cause for concern for Rochester. I know it's only one game, but I kind of was echoing these sentiments that through the first 3 games that yes, their offense looked fantastic, and yes, Hartley was unbelievable. The defense to me still, I was like, okay, you're still giving up too many shots. In game 1, I believe it was 66 shots on net.
60 shits.
60 shits. Well,
that's right.
Depending on the way you looked at it, it was
tied the goalie. Does that count? No, I'm kidding.
It was then, I believe, 48 in game number 2. So a little bit better, but against a worse team in Philadelphia. And then
this is their 3rd game. There was only a 2-game sample size here, which is why I was like, ah.
And then their 3rd game, they only give up 40 shots on goal and allow 18.
Not good. That's not good at all.
No, and the goaltending, obviously. So, like, goaltending, I've said it many times before. Goaltending can cover up a lot of issues for your defense, and your defense can cover up a lot of issues for your goaltending as well. Like, we've seen good defenses give up some easy, high or low quality shots. This, on the flip side, I just felt like Hartley was standing on his head, and it was not sustainable for how good he was playing. And he doesn't have to be as good as he was in the first 2 games, but he's got to be somewhere in the middle for this team to have any sort of success. And the offense still put up theirs. They still got their luck, 13 goals. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. But the defense, man, it is a cause for concern. And I know you were kind of already on this fraud watch for next week, or I guess this upcoming week, but now, or I guess it would be 2 weeks. What is it? Buffalo in a couple weeks?
Yeah. Well, no, this week it's a doubleheader. Interesting.
Okay. So yeah.
Philadelphia versus Buffalo. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. I was right. I just think defensively, too many high quality chances that they've been giving up, and that Hartley was really, really covering up for a lot of their mistakes. And as we've seen in years past, in the playoffs against some of the better defensive teams, that offense kind of, I don't want to say shrivels up, but they definitely don't put up the numbers.
They shrink a little bit.
They do shrink a little bit. And defensively, again, I have been banging this drum for a while. The defense is not good enough for me. They're great in transition. They do a really good job getting out and getting in your face, taking away time and space, getting the hands, but a lot of breakdowns when it comes to slides, backside help, that kind of thing. So I don't know if it's a personnel change that they need to make. They're certainly missing Rylan Reese. I'll tell you that much. He is a guy that they desperately need to come back from injury. But I don't know, man. I just, you said it earlier. I'll echo those sentiments. Not necessarily a goaltending issue. You need a good goalie to go deep in the playoffs. You also need a good defense to go deep. Yeah. And I don't know if they have that. I really don't.
Well, I would rather be 1 or 2 defensive pieces away than just having a bad defense. Like I know it might be a bad defense right now, but maybe Hartley is putting a huge Band-Aid on it. But I remember like when the Rush, like who do they trade for? Like just the one guy. Like I know Buffalo did a few years ago with Paul Dawson. It was like suddenly they had that one dude. But I don't know if Rochester was like one dude and then some away. Because I don't know if their defense is not as good as those guys were. So I don't know.
No, it's a good point to put it that way. I don't know if it's just 1 or 2 guys away. I don't know. Like I said, Rylan Reese certainly is a guy that they desperately need back. If they can get him back, that obviously helps things out. And then maybe it is one other piece that you can put to that puzzle. It just seems like for them out the back door, it's a lot of the same type of players, really good transitional players, guys that are good one-on-one defenders. But it just seems like right now they're kind of getting lost in the 2-man game. They're getting exposed in the middle of the floor. Well, so I don't even know. Maybe it's something that you can figure out with a system change. Maybe it's playing a different system. Maybe it's packing it in a little more, allow Rylan Hartley to see those shots from the outside. But obviously, when your goalie isn't making the saves from the outside, then you start to extend a little more. You start to get a little aggressive, and that opens up areas on other areas of the floor. So I'll give them a pass for this game, but non-negotiable, Mike. It's got to be a one-and-one weekend. Like that's bare minimum 1-1 weekend.
Gotta be the Wings, yeah.
And against the Wings, it's no double digits against the Wings. You got to hold them to 9 or less. And if they don't,
and if it is 10, just 10 and just 10. Like
yeah. Like if you're giving up again a big number to Philly, and I know I'm a lot higher on that offense than a lot of people are. I need to see better from that defense, man. I do. I absolutely do. I think Hartley will be fine. Hartley's going to bounce back. He's going to have a great game, but it's keeping it a low number and also keeping the shot totals down as well and keeping those danger chances away. We don't need Ryland Hartley to make 2 to 3 highlight reel saves a game. It's not sustainable.
Right. Fraud watch for me, it's creeping, but I'm not there yet.
Agreed.
Because I do think maybe Colorado somehow caught them off guard. And by off guard, I don't mean like they just were overlooking Colorado. I think we had not seen that mammoth offense with Jack Hanna, and just suddenly they exploded. And I don't know if that's just, I don't know if 3 goals to what was it in this game? 18. I don't know if going from 3 to 18 is plugging Jack Hanna. I think it's more of like a spark in the butt from last week. And then Rochester just kind of ran into that. So I don't know. But this cannot happen again this year. Like I was overlooking this game because of my contending stuff that I was talking about. And I'm not saying you can't lose some games like this. Like that's fine. But don't lose them in a way where your defense looks uncompetitive. That's my problem. I'm fine with losing games. Just don't 18. No, don't let that happen again. I'll be because they can't be confident in sustaining in the playoffs.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, this was an issue last year as well. This isn't a new thing that they're dealing with. They had these games where when the goaltending wasn't pristine, it could be a big number on the other side of the board. They're
it's
just
like Vegas with their goalie, but they have these red flags. Like, don't let those creep into you.
And they're just lucky that they have such a good offense that they can win those high scoring games. Correct. They have the capabilities to do it. They just unfortunately couldn't do it against Colorado. So I agree with you. Not fraud watch yet, but definitely alarm bells are starting to sound, and we'll see what happens this weekend with a big doubleheader.
We hear a TikTok. All right. Now finally, the Calgary Roughnecks defeat the Seals 15-11. I do want to mention that the Firewolves had a great attendance this week. I believe they broke their opening attendance, which is thank you, Ottawa fans, by the way. Isn't that weird how that works? Buffalo sold out another crowd, and San Diego, I did this research. I was shocked. 9,500 and some was their second most since their opening game, and that was before COVID hits. That is it was 11,000 in that game, but we saw for the first time when the Seals were maybe not even that great. They're advertising well, apparently. Good for them with 9,500. That being said, they got their door stomped in that fourth quarter. The Roughnecks, the question has to be asked. 48 saves from Aiden Walsh, by the way. He was one of my 3 stars as well. Great stuff from him, and he faced a bunch too. Should O'Reilly's starting role be in jeopardy? I was waiting for it last year. Didn't happen. He was awful. You had a few weeks to think about this, man. You're not good again.
It should be in jeopardy, but it's not like Dunkerley was any better.
I don't think it is, but I'm saying should it be in jeopardy?
It should be. It absolutely should be, because the writing's has been on the wall for almost a full year now. It's not. Yeah. The fact is, he has regressed since his rookie year. He has not been the same goalie that we saw when he came onto the scene and stole the show. He has not been that goalie.
79.3% his first full season, his first actual starting season. Ridiculous.
And a lot of people thought, okay, year number 2, maybe it's a sophomore slump, but it certainly doesn't look like he's taking any strides forward. The other issue here, Mike, is he didn't get pulled from that game. It's not like it was a performance issue. He got hurt. So they might not have a choice. He actually might be out for a significant time. It did sound like on the broadcast, they said it could have been cramps. So obviously if it is just cramps, he'll be back. But man, oh man, like I don't know what has happened to the overeg. I don't know what it is. He doesn't look as confident in the pipes. It seems like he's not tracking the ball as well. There are far too many times where he's making that save and he's looking around to see where the ball is. And that is not a good sign for a goaltender. He is struggling right now. He is fighting confidence. And to be quite honest, for an offense that has a lot of new pieces on there that are trying to find their chemistry, to have a goalie that is fighting it right now is not sustainable for this group, because they're in the same category as some of the other teams we talked today, that they're going to have to try to outscore their problems. And I don't think their team is built that way. I also will say this, the defense in front of them have also taken a step back. They are not playing at all close to what we saw last year or even the year before. They seem like they're running all over the place. They're not as sound defensively. The backside help isn't there. Slides are off. They're sliding too early. They're throwing double teams. And I think that is a case of a defense that is not trusting their goaltending for the goalies to make those easy saves. And they're trying to overextend and overcompensate for a goalie that isn't playing very well right now. So it is trouble here for San Diego. I had San Diego as a team on the outside looking in anyways, but if O'Reilly or Dunkerley is your answer, and those two guys are going to play like the way that they have played, I'm starting to feel a little more better about the way that my prediction kind of has gone for this team, because I don't care how many hat tricks Westberg puts up or how well he plays in the fourth quarter. If you can't get timely saves from your goaltender, it could be a long season down in SoCal.
That was a good point you made about the timely saves, because I'll be honest, like that fourth quarter, and I was telling you, like, because you had you stink pot, you had the over, I had the under, and so I go 2-2, so that means our whole week went to trash. I'm kidding. But it was like, he wasn't like those saves. Like, man, this is ridiculous. Like, of course, in the fourth quarter, it was Dunkerley, right?
Yeah, it was Dunk.
That's crazy. Man, this is brutal. This is rough. And I'm saying it should be in jeopardy in the same way that Justin Getty was brought in that goalie room in Halifax. You know, we helped out Warren Hill. Good for him. Warren Hill's still been great despite a 2-2 record, and they lost the last two. He has not been the issue. Maybe you bring in some guy who could take the role and just kind of put a fork in his butt if he is healthy. But we'll have to see. Also, Patrick Merrill, I've said before, how much money does Josiah have to throw at you? How much money? It's sad. It's very sad, because I made a mistake. Good for me on Preston's picks that my pick was locked when this week started. I went on who you got and just dropped from the middle of the pack to 143rd this week. Because I changed it to San Diego. I was so mad about that, and I said it all week on the show, just like the Wings and the Mammoth. Is this the game the Roughnecks get? And it should not be, because the Seals have been competitive. They have been close to that tier one, and their fall off is just weird. And they've plugged and played different stars. Corey Small came back. Shout out your boy. But like, I'm just wondering, like, when is Patrick Merrill going to take some accountability? Maybe he is in-house. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like no one else is talking about it. So Merrill, maybe he's the answer to not have a head coaching role or something like that. Maybe O'Reilly. I don't know. It's weird.
It's difficult. You are right. Like, I think that is probably a name that when you talk about the hot seat, that probably should come up, considering they're a team that time and time again are one of the top teams in free agency, bringing in names. They've tried different mixes. I also, me personally, and a reason why I said that this team I thought was going to miss is because time and time again, they're changing. It's too much turnover each and every year.
There's no chemistry. I agree with that.
And we see it every year that the offense starts to turn it on near the end of the year.
Right.
But it's like, it's a little bit too late. And outside of, the Trey Leclercs, the Westbergs, there's a couple of guys that have been there for a while, but it's that secondary cast, especially on the left-hand side. You could look over the last 3 years, the amount of different lefty forwards that have been there. It's crazy. It's nuts. Their entire left side is almost completely different.
He's a
righty, but Dane Doby was there. We won't mention his name, but another guy that.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
He was on this roster. Like, they just had so many different people come in and out of this lineup, especially on the left-hand side. I will say this though, not a lot of bright spots for this Seals team. Pat Cavanaugh, man, I've been so
he's looked
impressed with
good.
him.
He looks comfortable.
He's looked really good. Averaging 5 points a game through the first two. Everyone wants to crown Mike Grace and Sam English and CJ Kurse as rookie of the year.
You want to crown Mike Grace? Shame on you. I know I'm playing.
I know. I'm about to eat some crow. I think we got to start putting some respect on Pat Cavanaugh's name when this rookie race comes along. If he plays a full season, I know he missed the first game. If he can average 5 points a game, he's got to be in the conversation. I know it's just 2 games,
and
but
the namesake helps a little bit too.
It does. And the thing I like about it as well, 9 loose balls. The guy's fighting for loose balls.
I was watching those. I was like, man, he's just scoop and good because he looked like he knew where to put himself. Like, man, that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with him. I really, really like his game. I think he is that. I think calling him a lone bright spot is a little bit much, but he is one of the few bright spots to start this year for the Seals.
I used this theme music before to predict fights. I probably still will do that, but I'm going to play this theme music, and then you're going to tell me what makes this segment so tough. Like we like a Ford pickup truck commercial right here in their face. All right, so. This is Greg Revenge of Greggy's Grinder.
Yes.
Tell me what this is. Where does this come from, and what are we doing today?
Yeah, so Greggy's Grinders. If you've been following my work from I guess the inception of when I kind of broke through, you'll probably remember that name, and it is a callback to my first column. Back with Isle Indoor. Steven Stamp reached out to me. I was writing with Isle in Lacrosse We Trust and said, hey, would love to have you on the Isle team. But I have a great idea. I know you love your hardworking players, the guys that don't get the glow that some of the offensive players do, or even the defensive players that put up, good transition numbers. I would love to have this idea where you profile some of those hardworking players, those grinders, almost like a grinder of the week. And we get talking and he says, what about Greggy's Grinders? And he's like, that's a perfect idea. So these aren't the guys that are going to put up big numbers each and every week and have the offensive numbers. These are the guys that each week in a while, they're not going to appear on your 3 stars. They're not going to appear on the TFL 3 stars. These are the guys that go to work. They put their hard hat on. They put their steel-toed boots on.
I hear people banging nails outside.
Hard-working gentlemen that just go about their work, do the dirty work, get their hands dirty that some of the skilled players don't like to do.
And they'll attend a game even though there's snow outside.
Yeah. Yeah, the winter tires are on these boys, that's for sure.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, for the inaugural Greggy's Grinders on Daily Dive, I had a hard time picking it because I did feel like there was a lot of guys that you could give it out to. I wanted to give it out to the game that I was there and watched in person, but this guy, after kind of going back and watching the film again from Friday's game, I had to give it to this guy. And yes, he does score a goal, gets 2 assists, but for me, what it was the hard work that he was doing off ball. Sparky, the human mustache, Clark Walter is Greggy's Grinder for this week. What a difference this guy made just coming into the lineup. There is a clip on the socials for, I believe it was on the Rushes page. I think it was on Zach Mann's goal. He's immediately runs off the floor. Big hard pick. The Mans has the ball. And what does he do? He sprints out of the way. It's called a vacate, vacates the crease, goes onto the left side of the floor, creams a defender with a hard pick. It allows Mans to have a clear alley to the net, goes in and scores without him crashing and banging, without him doing the dirty work. I don't think Saskatchewan looks nearly as good offensively. And this is not a shot at Levi Anderson because I think he is a tremendous player and has a great future here. I think this offense plays better when Clark Walter's out there doing the dirty work, playing from the inside out, getting the loose balls, and allowing guys like Zach Mans and guys like Keenan, to go out there and be the best players on that left side. He doesn't need the ball he only had 30 touches. He only had 2 shots on goal. He doesn't need the ball to be successful. And I loved seeing that. So I wanted to start things off. I usually like going to the defensive side, but I like rewarding the offensive players that do the dirty work as well.
Clark Walter, I've called, like, you can call him mustache. You can also call him, I call him like healthy scratch. It's almost like, it's not an insult. I call him healthy scratch because every time I'm looking, why have they done this again? Yeah. But he is the guy, a lot of players could learn from him too. Like, just guys who are talented, but aren't National League star talented. And I feel like a guy who stays ready has a place on every roster in this league.
Yep.
And sometimes he'll be your star. So good for him. I do not have fun music. You're going to like this bit, by the way. This is Mike's lunchbox. See, people don't realize that Michael has a stepfather who has a lot of vintage tin lunchboxes. So you will see a new one every week. You will. I'm opening it up now. Oh, Mom made me some good lunch today. I'm talking more bologna and cheese sandwiches. Your boy loves them bologna and cheese sandwiches. White bread, by the way, it's like butter bread from Nature's Own or whatever it's called. Free plug again. I've got Doritos in there, good stuff. A cookie too, which is great. But also, the guy who wants to take my lunch right now, and the guy who's like, "What is that?" I'm like, easy, Jake Nace, so easy, pal. I'm mad that we both went Rush players. Yep. I have said for years on this show, and everyone agrees probably, Jake Withers is the best face-off guy in the world. The Jake Naso fans, can I get a... How dare you? How dare you, sir? Jake Naso goes 12-21 in this game. Withers also took 19 of those. He went 10 of 9. 10. Withers only went 9. It was 10-9. How many times, and this is not a shot at Tim Dillon, how many times do other people have to, how many times do other people have to see Jake Naso tear it up and don't put him in the conversation? He is awesome. And when this game's getting tight, like Halifax kept on pushing, don't tell me Ryan Keenan, Austin Shanks, and Robert Church, and Zach Mans and the boys, and Clark Walter, don't tell me they're not loving the extra opportunities. It's funny. I keep telling people this. We went to Montana for the Montana Lacrosse League year 1. Jake Naso told me, this is my first box experience. Since then, I believe the first game against Withers, he was kind of beat. But I told people, despite being, I'm talking about a guy this big, like in person, like this dude's small. But I'm telling you, he goes out there and he'll take anybody on the dot, anybody. And seeing him in person, being not afraid to take a hit, just wanting to be in there. And if the Rush tell him to get off, he gets off. Fast little player. That's a fast dude. Shout out Jake Naso. Sir, I'm not mailing this to you because it's a lot of money, but here you go, sir. You have made it to my lunchbox.
I love that. And you know what? One thing that you bring up with Jake Naso, he also caused Jake Withers to take 2 penalties as well. Like he drew
good point. Ooh. Don't fire me up with the temper birds. My goodness.
Yeah, let's not forget about that as well. So shout out to Jake Naso. Great pick. I love it. And yeah, not a direct shot at Tim Dillon, but direct shot at Tim Dillon. Put some respect on Jake Naso's name.
I'll be honest. I did think about giving it to Dyson and Alex as a compartment here, but because they combined for 10 goals and their offense was struggling, all of a sudden they show up.
Mm-hmm.
Naso against Withers. I mean, people have got to talk about how great this Jake Naso guy is. He is ridiculous. And he was great at Duke, but can he play Bucks? What? I don't know.
He's certainly showing that he can. If you're giving out your honorable mentions, I'll quickly give out my honorable mention. Reed Kurtz from Ottawa scored a huge goal, was taking face-offs as well. kind of just put in that position. They feel like that Jay Thornbert's still coming back into finding his stride. So he took some faceoffs, played some great defense, was killing penalties. So I was thinking about him as well. So honorable mention to him. And then again, in Saskatchewan, Ryan Barnable as well. Not enough people are talking about how good Ryan Barnable is. He's a machine on loose balls. He's an unbelievable on-ball defender. And when he gets the chance in transition, he can really jumpstart that offense. So those are my honorable mentions for the week.
They won't make the graphic that I'll show you later, but for social media, but I respect it. Good for you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Pat. This time we will not just end the show with you having an awkward smile. We will let you go here, and I will get to my 3 stars after the break. But thank you, sir. Another big breakdown. I don't know. I might ask Captain for next Monday because 8 games is a lot to talk about, so we might split them up. But
I think that's a good idea. Let's split them up next week.
We'll do a 3-hour show next Monday.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat. Stay safe.
No worries.
I guess we'll see you Friday, possibly. Thank you, sir.
I was just going to say, we'll see you in Ottawa next week.
Woo! Thanks, sir.
This Friday.
TSN doubleheader. Thanks, Pat. All right, folks. Well, that's how we do that. Again, the graphic for that will be posted after the show for Greggy's Grinder. And, of course, Mike's Lunchbox. It was what was it again? It was Battlestar Galactica. This has got a teddy bear. It's got a... I'm only 29. I'm sorry. All right, so when we come back to this awesome show, I'm giving out 3 stars. The best winning performances. These are the offensive players. We'll be right back to Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Thank you so much for watching this edition of Daily Dive, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. There will be more videos posted to our social media from captains, boots on the ground in Oshawa. Also some more fan interviews, and we appreciate those fans that did follow and see Captain live on the ground. We just talked to Pat Gregoire and had some overreactions. Some of those questions did involve is Saskatchewan a tier above Halifax? Did the Firewolves show enough signs of life offensively to save their season? Who should be the Desert Dogs goalie moving forward? Is it fraud watch in Rochester? Should Chris Aguilera's starting role be in jeopardy? Just fun stuff. Greggy's Grinder was what? I don't know why I just forgot that. Oh wow. Greggy's Grinder was also, that was fun. And finally, I gave my lunchbox, my Mike's lunchbox to Jake Nisa. Why am I drawing a blank on this guy for a minute? That's weird. I feel bad now. But that will be a new thing every week. Greggy's Grinder and Mike's lunchbox. I'll also have a new lunchbox for a week. That'll be fun. All right, time for our 3 stars of the weekend. I did not make the graphics yet, so I will do that when the show ends. But here they are. Number 3 for me, making it once again this year, is going to be Jeff Teat in a comeback, a back and forth with Ottawa, with with Oshawa. Jeff Teat had 3 goals, which equals a hat trick, 4 primary assists, and 7 loose balls for Jeff Teat, who was awesome. I did dock a little bit because Zach Higgins was so good, but Jeff Teat was awesome as well. Second star, Aiden Walsh, baby. He keeps showing up. The Calgary Roughnecks, if they are the worst team, they will be the best worst team in league history. And they might move up my power rankings. We'll have to see. But, man, they look good. And Aiden Walsh is no exception. 48 saves. 48 saves, man. Ridiculous stuff there for him. He helped stave off the comeback for the Seals. And finally, Ryan Keenan. In a game where Greggy's Grinder and Mike's Lunchbox showed up, in a game where the Thunderbirds wanted to split, in a game where his own father, Mr. Keenan himself, Derek Keenan, in a game where Derek Keenan stepped up and coached his 300th game, Ryan Keenan had 4 goals, 2 primary assists, got credited with a block shot and 1 loose ball, but the 4 goals did it for me in a game where Saskatchewan needed to have offense because Halifax, to their credit, kept on keeping this one close until the 4th quarter when it did break open in the form of 11-7. And the Rush, by the way, are the first team to 4 wins this season, and they are currently leading the standings over Buffalo, Rochester, Vancouver, Ottawa, Colorado, Vegas, who still somehow 7th, and the Thunderbirds, who are now 8th place. But good stuff there for the Rush. Thanks so much for watching today's show. I do wish BetUS would give more National Lacrosse League lines. I would assume they would this weekend. I know a lot of times we go after FanDuel and CoolBet and Bet365 and DraftKings, but BetUS, if you go on there, betus.com or betus.pa, I believe is the official website. You go on there, create an account, use the promo code 12OZ. That's 12 letters OZ. All caps, no spaces. Get a deposit bonus. So we'll see if they put more National Lacrosse League lines up this week, because last week they kind of let us down. Reminders to get event tickets at natalkradio.com. Forgot to mention that before the show. My event was crappy. The ticket thing was easy. Easy peasy wheezy. Click the event tickets tab at natalkradio.com. Takes you straight to Vivid Seats where you can search for your favorite or local National Lacrosse League team or any sporting event or event in your area. I went to Hot Wheels Monster Trucks. That sucked, but it was great dirt bikes, by the way, but yeah, it was terrible. Thankfully, I was able, in the spot I was in, I was able to watch lacrosse games, and that was nice. Shout out to ESPN Plus with the multi-view. I don't know how many people know this, but the I believe TSN Plus has it too. You can go on the TSN or ESPN app and search for multi-view on the National Lacrosse League. That's awesome. Streaming 2 games at once or 3 games. It's awesome. So good stuff there. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place. We'll have a special guest as well. This has been Daily Dive. Bye.